Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Vadala, President-elect. I am here to speak today about a charity that I'm involved with that is near and dear to my heart. It's called the North Shore Health Project. It's based out of Gloucester and also has an office in Haverhill. I've been involved with them since I was 22. So we're going back to like the early 2000s when I got involved, started volunteering with them. They started out in 1988. They were called the North Shore Gay Men's Health Project. And they were created by a group of Gloucester residents who were seeing that their friends and family were being affected by the AIDS crisis, and they wanted to provide services to the gay men of Cape Ann who were affected by HIV and AIDS. And so they created this health project that offered all kinds of services to these men who were sick and dying. Over the years, the organization has changed dramatically as the AIDS crisis has changed. So what started as the North Shore Gay Men's Health Project transitioned into the North Shore Men's Health Project. It was open to all men. And then as the HIV and AIDS epidemic became more of a manageable condition, they dropped the men's from the name as well and became the North Shore Health Project, and their main services expanded to be harm reduction and substance use counseling. So what they are now is a bunch of different services related to LGBT plus health and also substance use. Here's how they describe themselves. NSHP has expanded to include harm reduction services through the One Stop program, which provides syringe exchange, client advocacy, overdose prevention, naloxone distribution, that's Narcan, free HIV, hepatitis and STI testing, and LGBT plus health support, serving the communities of Essex County, based in Gloucester and Haverhill. They are probably the only LGBT organization, or at least the longest running and continuously operating LGBT nonprofit on Cape Ann, which is why I joined their board, because I think that's really important. And they do some of those things that are not as glamorous and also, a little less exciting. Harm reduction treats active users, and their idea is that everyone deserves help and services, regardless of their situation. So they help a lot of unhoused people and a lot of people with food insecurity, as well as active substance users. And they provide free STI testing and other services to the LGBTQ plus community of Cape Ann. So that's why I'm involved. I think they're really an excellent organization. They're having an awards breakfast on June 9th at the Castle Manor Inn in Gloucester. They're honoring a local man named Sal Zarilli, who he's getting the award, the Community Health Activist Award, for many things that he's done. But the most recent thing that he's been doing is a mural project around Cape Ann, where they've hired artists to recreate like famous paintings on sides of buildings and other like interesting Cape Ann art pieces that are improving the community. And he does a lot of good. He's a documentarian. He's a social psychologist, and so really cool. It'd be a great event. It's a breakfast. If anybody wants to come, you're welcome, and I can give you the information, QR code to buy tickets to the event. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a record-breaking spring of 2026. I'm Kane Thompson with New York Life, former North Shore realtor myself, current NAR affiliate member, current NSR member. I recently volunteered to join the Finance and Budget Committee. 34-year North Shore resident, now live in Danvers. My wife and I, Amanda, have 5 kids. 2 of them are out of college, and we have 1 severe special needs daughter, Make-A-Wish child, Mia, and 2 Cocker Spaniels who pretty sure they run the household. But I'm here today to speak about a charity called Leap for Education. My wife is involved. She got involved with the charity as Director of Development and now Director of Advancement. And, you know, I purchased a table at their gala actually a couple of weeks ago, and Lieutenant Governor was there, several state reps, 2 local billionaires. So it's getting, and then 500 other distinguished donors. So it was quite an event, and the awareness and support from credible organizations and individuals just continues to grow. As a side note, actually, my father-in-law, Amanda's father, taught in Salem Public Schools for 43 years. So if any of you know Mr. Bill Coombs, most people, if you grew up in Salem, I don't know, but he literally knows everybody. So who is Leap for Education? It's a nonprofit based out of Salem. And for more than 24 years, LEAP has supported young people navigate their path from middle school to high school up until college. They have year-round programming, and provide education, networking, contacts, and relationships for those who those historically underrepresented in higher education and the workforce. So really they're evolving, continuing to grow, talking about what's next. They consider themselves a regional backbone for career-connected youth development. So schools, higher education organizations, employers, community partners, and so on. So really 3 facts as far as what they're trying to address. There's an expanding access gap. So, systemic inequities, right, continue to limit access to opportunity, particularly for students of color and those from low-income backgrounds. They just don't necessarily have all the same opportunities without some credentials, for example. Makes a big difference if you have a college degree, for example, something like that. The workforce is shrinking. There's 180,000 fewer jobs. By 2030, that'll be true. We lose 15,000 jobs a year, or 15,000 workers rather, either to retirement or otherwise not working anymore. And there's 40,000 workers a year retiring as well. So the workforce is shrinking, and only about 47%, they say, of Gen Z feel that they're ready for post-high school, or even have any plans about what they want to do with their lives. So the idea is generally providing resources and direction these kids through programming, so on. Career-connected, work-based experiences and mentorship in high school. They get one-on-one advice from people like yourselves, volunteers, who help these kids, really understand what it means for college, what it takes to get into college, coach them through all that, and they graduate, the LEAP program with experience. They have networks of people. Of course, we all understand how important networking is in terms of business and life. And looking ahead, they have what they call a New Era initiative. So it's scaling this work, building coordinated system that really strengthens the regional talent pipeline and prepares young people for the future of work. So in the end, ultimately, it's not about really individual success, I'd say it's more about the future of our workforce and our communities, and bringing up talent that potentially may have not been recognized without the LEAP program, and these kids become productive adults, here in our region. So, last thing, the New York Life Foundation did a 2-year grant to LEAP for Education. It was six-figure 2-year grant last year. The first tranche, half of it is granted this year, and the other half is next year. The foundation's pretty big. It's been around a long time. And they chose 15 charities in this youth development category nationwide, and LEAP was one of them. In fact, there were 2 in Massachusetts, which I think says a lot, about the region and what we're trying to do here. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And also feel free to go to their website. I don't have a display, but it's LEAP, the number 4 ed, leap4ed.org, as in LEAP for Education. So anyway, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it. And best of luck to you in the spring. Let's go.
Hi. Okay, hi, I'm Marie Bishop from Lear Realty Partners. How are you all today? Good, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. In 1991, I don't know whether any of you were born then, 1991, I was an employee for the city of Peabody. I was the director of information, which really means I was the switchboard operator. But in the same year was the year that I got my real estate license, which was a great accomplishment for me. At the same time, our mayor, Pete Terigian, had been in the process of trying to make plans to build a senior center in the city. The general feeling in the council was, do we really need a senior center? I mean, are we any of us going to ever get old? Maybe this isn't a great idea. It's going to cost a lot of money. And there was only one councilor who really rallied, and that was Bob Driscoll. He really felt that it was a great need in the city. So over time, people's attitudes waned, and we were able to build a fabulous Terigian Senior Center. And that was 35 years ago. 35 years forward today, actually 2 years ago, I had my knee operated on. And I knew I needed to go for therapy, and I needed to exercise. I didn't want to join a gym. I just wanted to, do it on my own terms. And my husband said, why don't you go to the senior center? They have a gym. Okay, I went to the gym. Well, shockingly, it's this cute little gym. It was not huge. It had ellipticals and treadmills and weights and a bar. And it was like awesome, and anybody can go there. So I went on a regular basis, and I just couldn't believe how inviting everybody was. The people were just genuinely interested in your progress. So I made it a point to go on a regular basis. Over time, I realized that there was so many other things at the senior center that I could take advantage of. And I have a background in soliciting for raffle items, not for anything else. Soliciting, and so I thought perhaps I could be of help to them. So what I did was I started having lunch there, and if you remember, $4 for a state-of-the-art lunch. And so I met a lot of wonderful people. So I decided to become a volunteer. And I volunteer now. I volunteer 3 days a week for a couple of hours each day. And I enjoy that. But I also enjoyed meeting a lot of people from Peabody who I probably would never have met, and what they bring to the table in terms of our community. So what I started to do, I designed greeting cards as well. So I started bringing Christmas cards to all the people that I had met. And people were just so appreciative and so kind, and they just, thank you so much. And so when they had a craft fair, I decided that I would bring my cards, and whatever money I made from the cards, I would return to the senior center. And I've done that on several occasions. We also have a state-of-the-art adult daycare, and we're the only senior center in Massachusetts out of 350 senior centers that have an adult daycare that offers breakfast and lunch. We transport people from Peabody and other communities. We have therapists in the daycare that help people with different maladies that they may have. There's a shower. It's an incredible operation, and I'm so proud of the fact that we offer that to our senior citizens and to some people from other communities as well. That's why I'm here today. I'm here to talk about the fact that, they're always looking for contributions, and there's so many people who volunteer there, and they give of their time, and they really all care for each other. But right now we have over 35 activities that go on at the center, everything from bocce to pickleball, from sewing, we have a pool room, we have a ping pong room, we have our gym, as I spoke about before. But we always have, at Thanksgiving, we fed 600 people for Thanksgiving dinner. Money was donated by the KSC, but we put it on, we set the tables up, tablecloths, centerpieces, the works. And it was a great opportunity for people to come who perhaps would have no place to go for a very small $10. So that's my deal in terms of the senior center and how I really try to give back. It's so important to give and not to give and not receive. I really enjoy being generous in spirit, and to see people smile. It makes me feel good. So that's why I thought I would bring this to everyone's attention. You may not live in Peabody, but the gym, you can come to the gym even if you don't live in Peabody. I appreciate all of you. And once again, like I said, we have a wonderful opportunity, and we have social services. If you have concerns about housing, you want to get into senior housing, you want to talk about Medicare and the calls you may be getting from people, we have Triad, which means we hook up with the police department, and we have vans that pick people up every single day and bring them, drop them off, and then drop them at home. And if they don't come out, then we're concerned, and we make sure we find out how come they didn't come to the door. So there's lots of safeguards that we offer as opportunities for our senior citizens. So that's why I'm here today, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am going to talk about an organization that all of you probably have heard of, which is Beverly Bootstraps. I think it's hard-pressed to find someone on the North Shore who hasn't heard of Beverly Bootstraps. However, first of all, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Christina Frost. I'm broker of Portside Real Estate Group here in Massachusetts. We do have offices in New Hampshire and through Maine, but I am here based in Mass, and I do sometimes work in our Portsmouth office as well. I have been on the North Shore for over a decade, almost 14 years. And I also went to college down the road. So I love this community. And I really think that, especially in the role as a realtor, being engaged and giving back is probably the most important thing that is close to my heart. So I got involved with Beverly Bootstraps as a advisor to the thrift store. And I'm going to talk specifically about the thrift store today. But one of the things that I've realized is that a lot of people don't realize everything that Beverly Bootstraps does. And so I wanted to kind of give a broad overview of all the places, all the things that they do. It's not just a food pantry. It's not just a thrift store. They provide food assistance programs where there's 24 access to food lockers. So if somebody has a job where they're working during the day and they can't get to the food pantry when it's open, there's 24-hour food lockers that groceries are put in there, and they can collect it at any time. There's mobile markets for people who have accessibility issues. There's community meals to kind of foster community engagement and just nourishment around what can happen around a food table that we probably have all enjoyed. There is Family and Youth Services, which provides back to school backpacks in the fall, Winter Wishes, which is a holiday program in December, providing gifting opportunities for families. And also we do a program where we ensure that every high schooler has a graphing calculator. It's one of the most expensive things that a high schooler has to have to go to school anywhere. They run sometimes over $100, and that can be difficult for high schoolers. So if someone's in need of a graphing calculator, we'll provide it for them. The adult services provided are English as a second language, high school equivalency program, college and readiness program. They help with writing resumes, college applications, applications to jobs, job coaching, and also client support services where there's case management. So if you have a family that's coming into the food pantry regularly and there really is just some root causes that are, preventing them from creating self-sustainability for themselves, there's case management where we have case managers that work with them to kind of help dig deeper into the root causes of their situation. And that really is the overall goal of Beverly Bootstraps, is to really uplift people and provide them with ways to be more self-sufficient. So Beverly Bootstraps serves 2,900 households and has served 6,168 people over the course of their, that is a huge amount of people for our community. And it also doesn't just serve Beverly, it serves Hamilton, Wenham, Essex, and Manchester, which I also think is important to put note on because a lot of people overlook those communities and think that there's people that don't need assistance there, but there is. And we have educated over 129 adults to getting their GED. The thrift store provides, there's kind of two functions to the thrift store, and this is kind of where I want to focus on a little bit right now. So there's one part of the thrift store that really just provides some dignity for people who can't afford clothing and want to go on a job interview. They can go into the thrift store, they can buy their clothes at an affordable price. We have given out over $22,000 worth of like clothing vouchers over the course of like working in the city, which is a huge amount. And as people come in there, it's just such a great opportunity for people to get what they need at a very reasonable price. But also it's a connection point for the community and Beverly Bootstraps. Any one of us can go into the thrift store and buy things. I have bought things. I've bought lamps there. I've bought kitchen appliances there. But also it is the only income driver for Beverly Bootstraps. So obviously there's donations, and that's a huge part of the way that Beverly Bootstraps functions and thrives is through individual and corporate donations. But it's the only actual way that they generate revenue on their own is through the thrift store. And it's a pretty substantial part of the budget. So I know we all drive down Rantoul Street and it's just there and we can take it for granted, but I really want to encourage people to stop in sometimes. We are trying to motivate people. We're going to work on it this year, but we're going to try to revive the storefront so that it's a little bit more noticeable to people in the community, that people want to stop and come in. But it is just, it's really what makes Beverly Bootstraps function. We couldn't really do a lot of what we do without that connection point to the community, back to the clients, and then also from like a revenue stream. So, I really do want to just encourage everybody. There's a couple of stats. One of my favorite stats is from Q1 and Q2 of 2025. We also donated 125 tons of textiles, which is equivalent to a blue whale. So all the donations that come in, if we're not able to like resupply them, that's how much donation is coming in. And then we're donating it back. We're giving it to different recycling organizations where they can recycle some of the textile materials. There's just, it's really huge. It's really quite impressive what they do in that little storefront. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Linda Turcotte. I'm with Keller Williams, and I just want to say I appreciate the opportunity to be here and present what's really near and dear to my heart. I do have handouts, and I brought a prop with me. I raise funds annually for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute through the Jimmy Fund Walk. I participate in honor and memory of my late sister-in-law, Maureen Turcotte, who many of you may have known. She was a realtor with Keller Williams in Topsfield. I was Maureen's chemo partner during her nearly 6-year battle with breast cancer. As her chemo partner, I was there for every doctor visit, treatment, scans, and blood work appointments. Because of that, I saw firsthand the incredible level of care she received and how Dana-Farber helped ease the burden by coordinating all of her appointments. Maureen participated in several clinical trials during her treatment. She knew those treatments may not save her life, but hoped they would help others in the future. I'm grateful to share that some of those drugs are now in use in helping breast cancer patients live longer. My first walk was in 2012 alongside Maureen as part of another team. After her passing in April 2013, I remained committed to the cause. In 2014, I formed my own team in memory of Maureen and my friend Jan's late brother Patrick. Our team is called Maureen and Patrick's Troopers. All funds raised are directed to Maureen's oncologist, Dr. Harold Burstein, who I got to know very well because I was there for every single appointment. And I have to say, anybody who knew Maureen, she was quite a character. And I remember driving into appointments and she would talk about an article she read, and I knew it was something off the wall. And she would bring it up to Dr. Burstein, and he would just say, okay, whatever, as long as he knew it wasn't going to hurt her. So it was very entertaining hearing the two of them interact. Dr. Burstein is both a clinician and a researcher in breast oncology, making a direct impact on patient care and future treatments. Since 2014, our team has raised over $200,000 for cancer research and care. I have been a member of the Jimmy Fund Walk Advisory Board since 2016. The advisory board serves as a sounding board for the walk staff. We meet several times a year, especially after the walk, to share feedback on what worked well and what could be improved along the route. We also provide input on fundraising incentives, including items walkers earn at different levels. The Jimmy Fund has a 5-star rating on Charity Navigator. Approximately 85 cents of every dollar goes directly to patient care and research. It is one of the largest fundraising walks in the country. Over 9,000 walkers participate each year, both in person and virtually. Last year, the walk exceeded its $9 million goal and raised over $11 million. On a side note, each spring, so one of the gentlemen I met through the advisory board, his name is Julio, he's from Rhode Island. We, every spring, or actually early in the year, we collect donations to purchase Girl Scout cookies, which we bring to the patients and families at the Jimmy Fund Clinic. I have met so many incredible people through the advisory board and just being on the walk. I can't tell you, unless you actually do the walk, I can't tell you what the experience is like. It's just incredible having so many people, doing this for such a great cause. So I brought a prop with me today. This is a pace setter sign that it was along the route this year. This is my second sign. In 2014, when I started my team, they asked me to do a quote. So all along the walk route, they have signs from pace setters as well as what they call heroes. And the heroes are the patients that are in treatment, and they provide quotes. So what is a pace setter? A pace setter is a walker who raises a minimum of $1,500. I'm proud to share that I've been a pace setter every year I've participated in the walk. One year I actually personally raised over $10,000. So how can you all help? Donations of any amount are appreciated. So I actually have this little handout, and if you scan the QR code, it will bring you directly to my page. So I'm also looking to actively grow my team of walkers. We've had as many as 20 walkers, and right now we're at about 10. The more walkers we have, the more funds we can raise, and the greater impact we can make. There are actually 4 route options. It follows the Boston Marathon route, so you can actually do the full marathon. Never have done it, never will. Our team up until last year did the half marathon, that 13.1, and last year we actually did the 10K, which starts at Boston College. Part of the reason we switched our route was 13 miles is a long way to walk, but they extended the finish line because of work that was being done at Copley, and we now end at Boston Common and added almost 2 miles to the route. So after you've walked 13 miles, you don't want to walk another 2. And then they have a 5K route that starts at Dana-Farber. There is truly an option for everyone, regardless of experience level. Every step we take is about giving others more time, more hope, and a better chance at life. I'd love to have you be part of that.